Move over, Moses and Zoroaster. Manhattan has a new female lawgiver. This was brought to my attention, folks. And this is one of the statues that has been erected in Manhattan and also a nearby park, I believe. The 8-foot sculpture has been placed atop a New York courthouse, an urgent form of resistance. An urgent form of resistance. That's very interesting. That they believe that this statue is a sign to all women that they should be in a form of resistance and live a form of resistance in their life and rebellion. We already know what the Bible says about rebellion. It's like the sin of witchcraft. And you have other sculptures here, and then you have her placed right alongside them. Why the hair braided in this fashion? Like a ram, like a goat, a stubborn type of animal. The Bible says the sheep to the right and goats go to the left on the day of judgment. These weird type of tentacles that are coming out of our arm sockets, almost like Medusa. If you ever seen that creature Medusa in the movies, she was able to captivate her prey by just looking into their eyes. I believe they would turn to stone, and she had these weird things coming out of her body and out of her scalp, out of her head. And that's what this is depicting, a woman who has braided hair in the form of a ram's horn, a ram, a stubborn ram, one who wants to fight, one who wants to kick against the pricks, one who wants to battle. Resistance, that's what it's all about. The Now sculpture channeling the notorious RBG will be removed in June when the works travel to Houston. So they're going to take this as a type of traveling image. They're going to take this and display it in other places as a way to witness. It's an evangelism, a form of evangelism for Satan's side. That's what we see here. A form of evangelism for the demonic side. And here's the person who made it. Sikander, with her work, witnessed, just like I was saying. I wasn't even aware of this until we're scrolling down right now. I said it was going to be a form of evangelism to take this statue, to take this image across the country, and take it different places, display it as a sign of resistance, as a sign of rebellion, with the ram head, with the ram horns, and the body sculpted in a way where you have these tentacles coming out of the arm sockets. It's about, the Bible says her hands are like bands. Those who want to please God will escape from her. She has a death grip. She's all about battling and contention, butting heads, and not going to be told what to do, not going to be in her place. Rebellion is like the sin of witchcraft. That's what it's coming down to, folks. It's coming down to this, where they're not shameful anymore in their wickedness and their displays of these wicked inventions. Now it's about this imagery. It's about what they can show through art and through sculptures and these creations from their wicked minds. And they've created this, the woman of battle, the woman of resistance, the woman of contention, a Medusa-type figure. The sculpture witness in Madison Square Park wears a hoop skirt inspired by the stained glass dome of the nearby courthouse, symbolizing the need to break the legal glass ceiling. Break the legal glass ceiling. Essentially, become a lawbreaker. Lawlessness. Break the rules. Break the legal glass ceiling. Now, they can try to say it's for women's rights and equality, etc., but listen, that's all a smokescreen. That's all something to get you to get your emotions placed in one direction when they come through another direction, and they come in with all their rebellion, their witchcraft, and their resistance and lawlessness, and they just destroy culture. Let me remind you once again, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them, O my people. That is a lament. O my people, O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the ways of thy paths. Take a look at some of these comments. That thing is a monster. It's not a woman. So happy it's not permanent, but shouldn't be there at all. It's grotesque. It's a grotesque monster. It's rather awful looking. Not very good. Ugh. And you have the people that are mocking, acting like it's no big thing. What's with the strange public art of late? First it was the thing in Boston, and now this. Part of me wonders if this is an issue of incompetence, not intent. If you can't sculpt in the old style, maybe it's easier to pass off a bold departure from it than an imitation of it. Then again, this is New York City, and there are very good sculptors you could get. So basically, they're trying to give them a pass. It seems as though that they're just not, too creative. No, this is a very creative work of art. Now, it doesn't have to be complex according to what you would consider a fine work of art, but it's all about the imagery and what is being shown through it, and the conditioning that is being displayed. A woman with braided horns in the form of a ram and tentacles. Ecclesiastes 7:26. I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Whose hands are like bands. Do these not look like bands? Now, well, once again, they're going to say that these are, depicting something else. They'll have their own meaning behind it. But I look at things differently. We can see under the layer. We can see under the surface. Those of us who have spiritual insight, we can see behind these symbols and sculptings and figures of art. We can see the deeper meaning, the darker meaning, I should say. And this is just that. It may not be a fine work of art to some people, but there is a spiritual aspect to this. That's channeling, that's witness, as she said, witnessing, bringing forth this light of knowledge. Hath God said? Did God really say that you couldn't eat of the fruit of this tree? Come on, take a bite. Eat of it. Once you do, you'll be like gods. You'll know both good and evil. And she took of the fruit, and she took of the fruit, and gave to Adam also, her husband. Her hands are like bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her. Stay awake. Until next time.